I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself. A bird will fall frozen dead from a bough, without ever having felt sorry for itself.
Most of my friends call me Johnny, and I pretty much have had this swim in mind for at least the last 20 years. I used to look out at the view from Tobago and imagine myself swimming and swimming and swimming, and I figured that I could do the distance if I had enough time, enough support. But then it became something of an obsession when I became acquainted with the story of the slave. Yes, well, there's a legend of a slave called Sandy who swam from Tobago to Trinidad to evade capture. This was at a time when slavery had already been abolished and was illegal in Trinidad, but was still the practice in Tobago. And so Sandy led a slave revolt, a very infamous slave revolt, and was able to escape after the revolt was squashed to Trinidad, where apparently he lived the rest of his days in freedom. We don't know exactly how he did it, but the fact that he did it means it can be done.
Yes.
But it hasn't been done by anybody since then that we know about. And there have been attempts, and certain individuals who I've actually become acquainted with and who have provided me with a lot of guidance and inspiration have come very close on a number of occasions. But in most cases, they did it with the assistance of propulsion or flotation aids. In some cases, we're able to rest on a boat. It's my intention to be able to swim from Tobago to Trinidad with no flotation aids and no propulsion aids, and never resting on a boat. So, in the classic sense of an open water swim. Okay, so I was just part of a quartet. The real leader was William Carr, and he and I came up with this idea that we would try and realize both of our dream to swim from Tobago to Trinidad, or from Trinidad to Tobago. And he did most of the organization for the first swim. He invited me to be a part of it, and so I tagged along as I would say one of the least experienced members of the group. And unfortunately, we had bad weather conditions. The tail end of Hurricane Fiona hit on the morning of the swim. And so we did it anyway because all of the machinery was in motion.
Including the passion.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we had to go in unfavorable sea conditions, and we ultimately were pushed back to Tobago and swung off course by very strong currents and very aggressive surface chop. So we had to lick our wounds. And a year later, I attempted to swim again.
Yes, and I think this is where
our journey began. It was essential, all 16 members and 3 boats who supported me last time. I really hope that everyone is able to make it back on this occasion, because it really was a team effort. We couldn't have accomplished it without everyone working together. And William, of course, came back on board as my support swimmer. And he didn't get in the water, but at the same time, he was only planning to get in the water if and when he needed to. And everything went fine on the swim. I never encountered anything that I couldn't deal with. And in fact, when we came to the end of the adventure, there was no other way around it. The current was pushing me back towards Tobago. I reached within 7 nautical miles of Toco Point, and that was it.
Yeah.
Nature won.
Yeah.
So the team effort, part of the benefit of the team effort is everyone working together to learn from our mistakes and create an even better plan. And I think we've done that. And William is going to be back on board again as my support swimmer. And he will be in the navigation boat, which will be leading my course. And we think that we can do it if we swim longer and further. Yeah. It's in order to use the current more to our advantage than was the case the last time.
I got you.
So we went back to the drawing board and we're ready to go again. Privilege when you have an experience like this that can define the rest of your life, and that is so all-encompassing and so dramatic, you'll never forget it.